quite a bit in the on the Sin City chart area as well as in the couch area for the freeloaders among us. But it'd be quite good to go over my views on Bitcoin right now, and just what I'm kind of expecting from price, given what we've got available to us here. Because it's really an interesting area. Last time we had this stream, we spoke about how Bitcoin is kind of out of the woods, but not totally. And for me right now, it's pretty much exactly the same. Okay, it's not perfect. It's really not. Let me pause all my alerts because it's fucking many. Okay, paused on them. So we're not totally out of the woods with Bitcoin. Okay. And what do I mean by that? And I'd actually argue we're in a worse position where we were from the stream that we had the other day, if you ask me. And what do I mean by that? Well, we've regained the range. Okay. Hello, hello. Okay, I'm here. Perfect. Right. Fucking audio issues again. I swear to God, pain in the ass. So yeah, as we let people roll in, I think I can hear myself now. Yes, can't hear myself back. Ugh, ugly. It's just Max today. Magic's going to do I believe he's going to do, we've got a member stream on Thursday evening. That's when Magic's going to come back. I don't think he's put anything in to do one in between now and then. But yeah, this is my altcoin stream. But just first of all, as people roll in, going to be talking about Bitcoin. Thank God I found the audio issues now and not later. It's the fucking camera that I have. It keeps has a microphone. I need to just put a fucking nail in it, absolutely ruin it because it's just not picking me up. But yeah, last time when we had a stream, it was on Friday, and we were talking about how Bitcoin is kind of out of the woods, but it's not totally out of the woods. And the same thing does still apply now. And I would argue that it really is coming to some regions where it's really testing that bias. Okay. And what do I mean by that? So we've come up, we've tested the single print, rejected. It took the high that we mentioned. We were talking about, I don't need to go to the 2 hours, fine. We were talking about this high back here being taken. And our reasons for that is because of the open interest spikes that we had around that region. If you look at the move away, you had really large increases in open interest. People going short, they're going to be putting their stop losses here. It's an area of liquidity, and it came and tapped pretty much every area that you could have wanted, coming up to quite this high up here. It's collected it all in this move here. So with that being said, and the move down that we've been given, you kind of do have to look to the downside, especially when it's lost the value area low of the range. Now, an area where it could, where I'm wrong really here in thinking that we are getting a pullback. Let me just hide this for now on this, because we only need the pivots on the chart right now, is if we get above the monthly pivot. And why is that important? Well, it's been resistance for some time. We have failed to hold it every time we get above it. And really, if I go to the 15-minute and we look at price action around this region, we've had large open interest increases into the level pretty much, everywhere that we've been, even above it here when we tried to go up. So large open interest increases, not huge, I must say, but large open interest increases, below the monthly pivot. Get above that, the tail on the tape is you're trapping shorts. right now, given where price is, we're trapping longs, okay? So with more local longs trapped above us, you have to look down to take them out. Areas that I'm thinking, well, I had this level on my chart the other day, I think for the Monday stream that we did. And, it bounced into that last night, hit its head. And why was this a level? Well, we had really large open interest increases into this range, okay? There's also the point of control for this miniature range. It's not anything big. It's like, you could argue it's the New York session from Friday. It is right on the weekly pivot as well. And obviously the weekly pivot is a statistical target. So we're looking for that to get hit. The area where this whole rise kind of becomes worrisome to me, let's say, is if we come down and test the single print and lose it, okay? We know how single prints work. It's like a hollow bit of price action, let's say. Once you've entered it, you typically look for it to be closed. And that puts us below the monthly open, does put us in potential bounce territory with this gold pocket being there. But the problem that you have is this open interest increase that we've had here, that really large. There's a lot of longs here. Now, how many longs in this bit of price action here that really fast move up do you think have taken profits up here? The answer is probably not fucking many, okay? So then you're really looking to, well, where are their stop losses, okay? I would say the 786 from the low is more relevant, if you ask me, just because it's going to take out all the liquidity of those longs there. Okay, but this only becomes important if we lose the single print. Of course, the single print can offer us support and can offer us a bounce. And if you are being bullish, that's what you're hoping for, and then you're hoping to regain the range, get above the monthly pivot. And then once you do that, that's where the bullish version of price comes in. Your next target, if you can regain the monthly pivot, to me, is without a doubt 67K. And if you're doing that, I'm going to be super honest. If you are doing that, okay, let me hide this again. We simply want to look at the market structure. If you regain 67K, give or take, if you come and hit 67K and probably take this high out back here, just a few $100s above, you're changing the market structure, because what we've got now is a series of lower highs, lower lows. If you're then going to put in a higher high, and this is going to be a higher low, let's say, if we put it in, you're changing the market structure. And that's when you can start to look for your bullish targets. And to be honest with you, that's when talks of the all-time high come in again. Okay, you've just got to really put in some work here, get above that monthly pivot, head towards the point of control, and take this high, more importantly. And then, all-time high conversations come back into play. But the way it's looking right now, I am really expecting a pullback here. And it'll take me to go to the lower term timeframes to really isolate it. So one thing that I say many times, and I want you all to take note of this, slower moves typically tend to continue in that direction. Would you say this is a fast move down? It's not. So with that being said, we can expect this to continue down until we get that fast move down to signal that we've had a good low. And we've not had a good low, and it's coming down to take it again now, especially with the trapped open interest that we have above us. But that's my Bitcoin analysis, quick and easy, as we let people flood on in. Wow, look at that big drop there. Let's have a look. Oh, and the shorts coming in as well. So when you're seeing stuff like this, now they've gone. When you're seeing stuff like this, really heavy negative delta, this can be a bullish candle if you fucking get above it, okay? Because this is really negative delta. If I make it not locked, really negative delta here. I'm surprised Twins indicator doesn't pop off in a minute to tell us we've had a delta dump here. If we can close this candle somewhat bullish and the next candle gets above it and goes green, that's when you're bullish. So you're going to be looking above like 62,100. If it can get above there, trapping all this delta that you've had down here, 20 million at the low, that's it's not to be sniffed at. Where is that? It's still above the area that we're looking for. But when you're getting delta dumps like this, if you can get above them, it's an entry trigger if you have a reason to take a trade from here. I don't have a reason to take a trade from here, and I still am expecting lower, but it's just how you can look at the footprint to kind of analyze, okay, maybe I want to take a trade. But I have no reason to take a trade here, but this is a large amount of delta that is coming in here, okay? And you really want to flip the script and start trapping shorts. But anyway, That's Bitcoin. This is an altcoin stream, Max. You're fucking up. So let's get into some alts. SHIB, someone has said SHIB. I will look at SHIB. I'm going to go through the ones that Lalola requested in the group because she requested 5. So I'm going to run through them. And this is one from last week, actually. She requested 4, and this one is from last week. So Atom, Solana, whatever this coin is, Wild, Rune, and ICP, the shit coin of all shit coins. Honestly, it's the worst coin I think I've ever seen. It really is bad. But yeah, Atom. So Atom's an interesting one because I have built a chart on this, I believe. Where's my shit? Just come out to the high time frame. You just really range bound, okay? Atom is really range bound. You know, you've been in this range since it's mid May 2022. So you've been in here for a long time. Right now you are at the range lows and you've regained the range lows. So what do we say once you re-enter the range? You do have to look for upside, okay? You have to look for, once you've re-entered a range, you look for the point of control. And the fact we've done it, if as long as this can hold this value area low down at, let's just call it 8.5, 8.6, if it can hold that region, okay, it looks good. It looks good to come and test. Yeah, the point of control up at $11. The only area where I would say you're probably going to get some resistance is this level here, which I put as key at $10.60. My reasoning for this is the open interest increases that you've had above this region, okay? You had a big drop when you lost it, but there's been a large open interest increase here. Now, let's say there's any leveraged positions and they're still holding them positions, which I imagine at this point, a lot of them are taken out, to be honest with you. But let's just say they are. This area is going to be resistance. You know, it's been support, lost it, wasn't ever tested as resistance. With the positions that we know entered up here, if there any are left, long-wise, you know, they're going to be closing out, okay? So it's on the 0.5 as well. There's just some reasons for me to believe that this could be resistance prior to going to that point of control. So that's how I'm looking at it. That's how I'm looking at Atom. As long as it can hold the value area low, it looks really good. And if I go to the lower term time frame as well, even from an open interest standpoint, this uptrend that you've had, here, from this low back here, it's been pretty good. You know, that's really strong open interest. So you've got levels that you don't want to hold. Where you want to hold. Where is the val at again? Let me mark it out so I can actually see it when I go to the correct time frames. Go to 12 hour. Let me pop this on so I can see. Well, okay, let me go to the 5 minute again. Sorry for flicking around, but it's somewhat interesting. Yeah, so this adds validity to me wanting to hold the range value area low. Okay, really large open interest increases below here, you know, from the low that was down here up to this region, okay? Really large. You don't want to free up, let's say, the shorts that entered on the opposing side of the longs, and you don't want to put the pressure on the longs. The thing with open interest is you're always looking for who currently has the more pressure on them, the longs or the shorts. Because if you've got more trapped shorts, obviously the buyers aren't under any pressure and price looks to go and squeeze out the shorts. If you're flipping the script and you're trapping the buyers and the pressures on the buyers, that's when people are going to start to sell and price is going to go down. So really important that you hold the range val. Can you sweep it? For sure. You know, come and take out anyone that's longed, you know, up here and has a stop loss just below the range val, for sure. So for me, looking at this now, this is one of the coins where I would actually be somewhat interested in trading below the range value area low. Okay, it's already come down. If you pull in a gold pocket from here, yeah, you're already in it and past it. It's already had its bounces. So you know you are expecting at this point, once it's tested the gold pocket multiple times, to come a bit further down. Whether the weekly pivot is going to offer that, I'm not sure. I'm intrigued to see, and I'm going to be using this tool quite a bit today, so bear with me, guys. But what is this, Atom? What it is in correlation to Bitcoin. Because, you know, if we're expecting Bitcoin to go down, we have to be somewhat aware of what Atom's doing. So yeah, it does follow it a little bit. Can we go to the 12 hour? It's going to give me the data for it. It is. It's not super correlated, which is okay. I can't imagine doing it on the daily as well. Oh, it does. So it's somewhat correlated, but not totally, which is, it's okay. It's not the worst I've seen. Some of them are just so correlated that there's virtually no point in trading their own chart. You might as well just trade Bitcoins, which is one of the things I always hate about trading altcoins if it's super correlated. But it's not the worst. It's not the worst. So you do have to be aware of what Bitcoin's doing, but it's not terrible at the same time. Bitcoin getting a bit of a bounce, I can see. But yeah, the weekly pivot would probably be a nice area to take along because yeah, you're going to sweep the open interest that came in quite a bit higher. So for me, the buy is on Atom because I can't tell you. I could tell you to buy here because you've just swept the low. You've already swept it. So maybe the weekly pivot is a buy option. It's a 786 there, a little bit below. Maybe there. But the thing is, I also want to have a buy below here. A little deviation of the old range. Let's pop it there. Okay. Sweep this low here, come below the range val, quickly get back above it. Yeah, I would be interested in taking this trade and taking this trade up to $10.60 to be totally honest with you, because that's the only area of resistance I have above us. If I'm totally honest, you can the 0.382, yes, arguably, but this area is like a low volume area. So where you've rejected from here, above that is a low volume area. If you're going from the month of April, there's going to be almost no volume in this region here. You haven't really got too much resistance as well. I can't see any proper support and resistance that's going to really affect us, to be totally honest with you. So, yeah, longs on Atom is what I'd be looking for. Where would I be concerned? Well, if you lost the range value low, didn't sweep it, and started to lose this really large increase in open interest, you'd then be targeting the lows down here. I would completely ignore this gold pocket. I know. Ignoring a gold pocket. But yeah, to be honest with you, I really would, because you'd be coming straight to take out these traders. And at that point, this big drop that you've had here, you're expecting the same thing again. So yeah, you could probably wick down to that untapped weekly. But yeah, maybe a sweep of this region. But you'd really have to see what price action is like as it comes down to that region. You really would. It's not something that I would preset for at all, especially not when you're trapping so many longs. I'd really wait for that open interest drop to then want to get into a position again, okay? So that's Atom. Run through it somewhat quickly. But it's not a bad looking coin, so I'm going to put this in. Good shit. It's not great shit, it's just good shit. Solana. Let's look at this one. I will do SHIB as well. I think I said that already, but I'll do it at some point. So Solana, okay. One thing I will say that I found, if I go to the daily, the monthly levels on this coin are, they're really good. So following the monthly levels and marking out the weeklies, they seem to be very good support and resistance. So I'm very interested in having them on the chart, marking out the monthlies, because you can see here, if I hide the fixed ranges, it makes it a little bit cleaner. But you can see how the monthly level from back here, if I've marked it out correctly, zoom in, please. You can see how you could have called pretty much the top on Solana if you were watching it. Okay, so marking out the monthly levels, really, really good thing to have on this chart. And you would hope that you're going to put one in at the current monthly open, but we've got quite a way until we close the month of May. But it could be very good support given how effective these actually work on this asset. But going into the lower term timeframes, let's talk local trades and open interest and try and get a bias of where we think price, is set to go. So you have put in a lower high here. It's not looking as bad as Bitcoin, let's say right now. You've not got any, area in this move up where you can think if trapped, it's going to look like shit. The one thing that I will say locally is it definitely looks like you're coming to sweep these lows here at $140. I just don't see a world in which it doesn't. These ones here, and my reason is slow move down, increasing open interest means, increasing open interest with the trend means strong trend, and slow moves typically lead to continuation in that direction. So not seeing any reason for Solana to stop right where it is. I would rather see a bigger wick, a bigger move down. You could definitely argue the weekly pivot on the untapped weekly level. I'm intrigued to see what's there. I imagine it'll be the 0.5 and not the gold pocket. Yeah, 0.5 almost exactly on there. So that's another really good area where Solana could bounce from if you mark it as such. Okay, that's not a bad region to have in your chart for sure. You've got multiple confluences there. 0.5 weekly pivot, untapped weekly, and we know how good the high time frame levels are acting on Solana. So that'd be the buy box for me on Solana. Do I think it looks good overall? You are in a downtrend. It needs to break this high and come up and really test the gold pocket, because okay, it has put in, one could argue, a higher low here, but it's failed to take the high. So it needs to come up and take the high without losing this low again. Because if it loses this low, to be honest with you, the way that I see this, you're probably looking at coming down to that monthly level. So moving in tight correlation to Bitcoin, let's have a browse. Solana, not on the 30-minute. Let's have a look on the daily. Yeah, so it's really correlated to Bitcoin. Okay, no, you are right. You are right. On the 30-minute, it's not, but on the daily, it certainly is. So yeah, you have to really be aware of what Bitcoin is doing on the daily time frame, because eventually it's just going to drag Solana with whatever it does. Okay, so yeah, you are right. That's very correlated. You can see the difference between Solana and Atom. If I make it big so you guys can see. Oh, made it small. Hold on, dickhead. So Atom only moves, about half the time in correlation to Bitcoin, whereas Solana's 94% of the time it's following Bitcoin on the daily candles. So yeah, over time, definitely something to be aware of when trading Solana. And if we're expecting Bitcoin to come down, which kind of weekly pivot, weekly untapped level, that would just makes more sense now, especially with the open interest that you've got building in this downtrend. Where am I wrong? Well, where am I wrong? I would really be thinking of this open interest increase that we're getting here and thinking about trapping it. So where does it begin? It's not so old. It's only today. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of up here as well, isn't it? You've had increases all the way. Yeah, you've got a lot of longs trapped above you. I didn't click it. There we go. Almost 8% of Solana longs are trapped above you right now, which is a bit shit if you are long. You don't want to see 7% of the whole of every long being underwater, because they're going to fucking close out at some point. Not everyone can. Everyone has diamond hands that can hold forever. So I'd say I'm initially wrong locally. If we can get above the day pivot and hold it, because then you kind of splitting it in half a little bit, probably more so, probably 2/3. You would say at that point you've got beneath you on the shorts trapped, and you've freed up 2/3 of the longs. But yeah, this area is definitely going to be resistance, I feel, given the open interest increases that you had here. So the day pivot is going to be resistance, but if you get above it and put pressure on, yesterday's price action effectively, yeah. I mean, let's see what the point of control is for yesterday. I'm intrigued. 4, please. There you go. Yeah. Yeah, you really want to get above that point of control. Get above here. Previous day val does normally offer an initial rejection trade. So yeah, there's reasons to take a short from there if you get there. Now, if you get above it, initially this is going to be resistance. It's going to be resistance initially now, but the thing is, if you get above it, and can backtest this region of support, backtest the day pivot, backtest the previous day value area low. Point of control certainly is looking to be tested. And to be honest with you, at that point, that's when you're testing the highs. Okay. Interesting poll. No, this is an indicator. So this indicator is called the correlation matrix. So if you go on here, correlation, there you go, correlation matrix and heat map by Leviathan. It's absolutely golden. To be honest with you, you can edit it. I always recommend going 200 length or more if you can. But I know a lot of these shit coins, they don't have a lot of fucking history. So you have to edit this accordingly. But yeah, the number back of bars back to use to calculate. But it's really good. And you can just edit whatever coins you want on here. And it just shows you the correlation with Bitcoin and well, other assets, I guess. But the main one for me is Bitcoin, because I don't like trading charts or coins that follow Bitcoin. And there's just no point, to be totally honest with you. The only reason you would do it is if it follows Bitcoin and the percentage moves are way more. That'd be the reasoning for doing so. And they're not always the case. Like Ethereum chart, let's just do it for the shits and giggles. What is... Yeah, you always should go for charts with more data. So this is why I fucking hate Ethereum. Follows Bitcoin like a bitch. Then you hear people say, oh, but the percentage moves on more. They're fucking not. ETH. Okay, let me find this one again. They're fucking not. 0.12% this has moved today. Bitcoin's moved 0.8. Okay, it's like the exact fucking same. You're really going to trade a different asset because of 0.04? No, I'm all right. Fuck ETH. Sorry for the Ethereum holders, but I really hate it. What is a good value? Yeah, so a good value on this, you would argue, is below 0.5, right down to 0. And it can go into negative numbers. And what negative means is obviously a negative correlation. So if it's negative 0.9, it means it does the opposite of what Bitcoin does. And you definitely do find assets with negative correlation. But yeah, the higher the correlation, the more pointless it is to actually chart it. But 0.5 to 0, I guess you could argue to negative 0.5 is good. Just to trade an asset that's not super correlated, because it's no fun charting the same thing and it just, or charting a coin and it just fucking follow another chart that you've made. So instead of Bitcoin, Sol provides that intraday volatility. Yeah, Solana definitely moves, quite a bit more compared to Bitcoin, even though it follows the chart. So this is another argument against ETH. If you're trading an asset that's so correlated to Bitcoin, and yet there's another asset, Solana, that is so correlated to Bitcoin, but this one actually fucking moves, great. I know one day Ethereum will have like its own move, and then everyone will be like, oh yeah, CMAX dickhead, should have traded ETH. But one day out of the year, I don't really give a shit about. So yeah, Solana. This would be a really nice long SFP from here, expecting this move down to continue. Where am I leading bullish? Well, if you can get back above this region, you can have resistance there, get above it, point of control, take the high. And if we zoom out a little bit, if we take the high, you've got to look at this high back here, 160, let's say. Get above that, get above the 0.5, because this has been support, and don't turn it into resistance. Where are you looking at? $170, okay? $170. You get above that. To be honest with you, if you don't reject from the gold pocket there, you're probably looking to come up and take $200 again. Being totally honest here. But it's got some work to do. It's got to change the market structure, here. It's got to do what Bitcoin's got to do as well. We said Bitcoin's got to take that previous high at $67,000. This has got to take this high and really put pressure on the $200 mark to then start to talk about your fucking moon targets. $250. Yeah, that's the only level I've got up there, to be honest with you. The weekly level. There's no monthlies up there. So $250. But at that point, you might as well just fucking take the all-time high, to be totally honest. But yeah, it looks okay. This isn't the worst looking chart. There's reasons to enjoy this miniature uptrend locally that we've got. Oh fuck. Okay, and there's clear areas of support below you, which is, you know, better than can be said for some of the other coins. So Solana is going in the good shit thing, good shit box, I say. But yeah, definitely expecting it to come down a touch more over the next day or two. Wild, whatever the fuck this is called. Oh, WorldCoin. Right. Shit coin. Let's have a look. I haven't zoomed out. So the chart's not terrible. You know, it's not the worst. It's not completely down here in the dumps as ICP is. But yeah, it's not the worst coin. So what have we got here? Let me hide some things to try and make this somewhat clean. I don't want the fibs on for now. We could pull them. So we've got point of control for the year is down here. It's trying to break out above it, which is, you know, a good sign. Market structure is taking the high. It's done things that other assets aren't doing. You know, it's taken the high. It's made its higher low. It's made its higher high. Can we be expecting a pullback? Yeah, sure. From an open interest standpoint, though, looking at this one on the lower term levels, let's say, the open interest is really good. Okay, from the low that was made, you've had really good open interest. How much increase is that actually? Let's go from here to about that. Yeah, 50%. So really good open interest. And now we're getting a pullback. Where would I become concerned? I'd become concerned if you were to lose. Yeah, I'd say this low here. This low here. You're gonna have a lot of liquidity there. Okay. Yeah. Weekly level, the untapped weekly there definitely could offer a bounce. The problem that I would have is coming down to this region. I mean, that there as well could be a very nice long. I'm talking SFPs here, okay? So these two levels could very easily be SFPs. Let me hide these because I don't like the random lines. These two levels here could certainly be SFPs. You're not going to have much in the middle. Okay, you have got the weekly there, which could be a good bounce, you know, testing what was resistance, turning into proper support. Weekly pivot there as well. Yeah, this looks like a good level, actually. You know, if you mark that out from back here, it's been pretty good resistance. So definitely a level that you want to hold on that weekly pivot. And at that point, you're not really trapping too many longs. Okay, yeah, you're going to shake out some hands, but you know they've been buying towards the top of an uptrend, so fuck them. But yeah, I quite like the weekly pivot on this one if it is going to come down. So my buy areas for this one, you know, considering it does have really good open interest, is quite a strong uptrend from an open interest standpoint. You're going to be looking for an SFP here, and you know what am I looking for when you get an SFP in this area? I'm going to be looking for really high volume and a quick regain of the level being 5.6. Okay, you're going to want a quick regain of the level, big volume spike. Open interest, you can have one or the other. You can have increasing open interest that becomes trapped. You can have an open interest drop, or if you have flat open interest, you just want to see really high volume and it really regain the level quite fast, because that means positions have changed hands. They've shaken out some longs, and those positions that closed have gone to someone else that was more prepared. So yeah, an SFP of here, I mean, I'd say it looks pretty likely considering the downtrend that you've got. I bet it looks like it's following Bitcoin a little bit locally. Let's put it on here. AVAX, go away, WLD. Yeah, we'll do this one. Let's have a look. When it loads. Yeah, it's following Bitcoin on quite a bit on the 15 minutes, go to 12 hours, see what's cracking off there. Ooh, it's not the end of the world. It's getting worse though. Yeah, so it does follow Bitcoin quite a bit. So if we are expecting a pullback on Bitcoin, which we are, yeah, I'd be looking for these lows to get taken. And yeah, this one here, I mean, and also this one here, I'm not looking for all of them to get taken, but these are areas where it could certainly find support. If Bitcoin decides to bounce from, let's say, the single print, this could be one. I would say if it's bouncing from the monthly open or gold pocket, this is certainly one where you would be looking to get in at. And I do this is my favorite one because it's uses other confluence, whereas this is simply an SFP and taking out longs that have entered too late in the move. But yeah, I'd say this one's definitely coming. This one and this long from down here would certainly depend on what Bitcoin is doing. And if you're losing the weekly the untapped weekly down here, well, then it looks shit because you've got loads of open interest trapped, and you're probably going to take the low down here. And I would argue you're just going to sweep $4 at that point. I really don't know why you wouldn't. And if you sweep $4 and it doesn't regain it, you take this low, well, then it does really look like shit, and you're probably looking down to like $2.2. Obviously, this is very bearish stuff. And I would say, honestly, looking at this coin, it's not the end of the world. It looks very good, actually, on a local time frame. I'm just giving you them targets to look for if price does lose some certain levels. But this is one of the better looking coins that I've got here because you are making an uptrend. You've got very strong open interest with this local uptrend. And you've got reasons to take trades, very, very good areas to look for to take trades from this. If the trend is to continue, where can we look to get into or to take profit or to potentially look for shorts? Well, for me, I would look at this open interest increase here, really nice open interest increase in this price action here. And it comes around this level. Now, you've already tested it as resistance. I can go to the low. Yeah. You already pretty much tested it as resistance. You came through a little bit. But I certainly think that, 7.2, you get above that, you're going to be targeting the monthly without a doubt, to be honest with you. I don't think the 0.5 is going to give you much resistance. I think you might as well just go straight to the monthly and the gold pocket above you. So if the uptrend is to continue and Bitcoin, well, let's just say Bitcoin gets, pulls itself out of the gutter a little bit from where it is now. I say out of the gutter, just gets above the 67K region, and we're looking for Bitcoin all-time highs. Yeah, I would say on Wild, it would look pretty fucking good, to be honest with you, because that's almost it's doubling if it goes to the all-time high. So it's pretty fucking good, 2x on a shit coin. So you really don't need leverage. You just need to get in at a good position, manage your risk and position size. And what I would do is, if it comes and gives you this SFP here, you can add position. Then if it gets above, these highs here, where you're then trapping more shorts, you can then add a little bit more position, and you're just going to ride out the uptrend effectively. Trend is your friend, but I would always say the initial position, the initial entry needs to be in points where you're not just fucking entering because it goes up. You're entering in actual tradable regions, and SFPs are one of my favorite ways to get into trades in line with the trend. Okay, so this SFP is perfectly valid. This backtest of resistance also perfectly valid, and so is this SFP here. This one I'd be more cautious of and would be taking profits probably at that resistance right there. But all of these trades are perfectly valid, and this is one of the better looking coins that I've had a look at, to be honest with you. Rune. Let's do this one. So this one is looking pretty good as well. It's looking okay. It's not looking total shit. If I zoom out, am I correct in that saying? Let me hide some of this stuff because I know it's a mess. What do we want hidden? Let's hide this one for now. Okay. We're in the gold pocket, aren't we? I need to go to the weekly because I've pulled it quite a high time frame. Yeah, so we're in the gold pocket now from last year's low to the current high. And it's kind of been bouncing along it. Let me drag this in so I can actually see the figures when I go to the lower time frame. Let's go to the 12-hour. You've been bouncing along it a couple of times. Now, I don't like when you retest gold pockets. I normally like a quick test and a fast move away, which you've had. You came through it here, got a quick move up, back test it again. Not ideal, but you got another move up, and we're doing it again. Okay, it's not ideal when you do that because you're testing the support one too many times, if you ask me. And I'm not sure I trust gold pockets. I know it's a very high time frame gold pocket going from last year's low to the current high. So yeah, it's going to be a bit stronger than local day trading ones, but I'm never 100% sure of them when that's taking place. And I hope you guys can understand that. So hiding that for now, what do we think? Well, for me, the where we are right now, you've got more local open interest below you. Okay, these two candles here on the 12-hour time frame have this one and this one here have the largest increase in open interest locally, as well as the one that we literally just printed earlier today. So we're above where we are right now. The majority of the trapped shorts, where the open interest increases have been coming in. For me, if we can get above the monthly pivot, we've not tested it yet, which, the target would be, the initial trade would be a short, either an SFP or rejection from the monthly pivot. So it's something like this, and I would extend it up a little bit more. And the reason this is a short trade, because of the open interest increases that you've had in this region, where do you think locally, looking at price, and I pulled the fib from last year's low, from whatever data I've got. Where is it? Here. So the fib is pulled from this low last year. Whether it's the cycle low, I don't know. Well, you could argue to go back there, but no, we put it from last year's low to the current year high is where I pulled that fib from. Okay. Back to 30 minutes. So, where are all the shorts that have entered in this region that weren't stopped out up here? They must admit they weren't stopped out. Where are their stop losses going to be? Well, probably above this high at this point. So if we come up a bit up here, take the high, and you get a big drop in open interest, you just wiped out one side of the market. You wiped out the short side. So there's going to be a lot of liquidity up here, okay? A lot of liquidity just up and around $6. It definitely offers us a short trade. The flip side is if you know how to take a SFP trade, for sure it offers you an SFP trade. But if you do something like this, you blast through it, no SFP trades offered, you then come back and instead of getting closures below, you just come and test and get the bounce off. This area also, without a doubt, offers us a long trade. And this is how you effectively breakout trade. You're not buying as soon as price goes above a level. You're trading the back test of the region. You're wanting to see resistance turned into support. So that's what you'd be looking for in this region to enter a long. Why would you enter a long here? Well, look at the volume in this area from April. I mean, even if I go back to the year, I'm pretty sure it's exactly the same here. There's a huge low volume area where every time prices come into this region, it's kind of just fucking melted through. So the back test of that monthly pivot, or the current high that we've got from mid-April, by all means could be the fuel to take you, if I can drag this one up to the yearly value area high and back where you've had support, and potentially turn it into resistance. Okay, that's the type of that'd be the first target, to be honest with you. It really would, because you've just got such a low volume area here. There's nothing there. There's no resistance there of any value. Okay, so though this area is almost certainly a tradable short region, given the right conditions, without a doubt, one could be buying up in this region. So that's the trade that I'm giving you on Rune. It's either a short if given, or if you blast through and get the back test, without a fucking doubt, it's a long. Okay. if price comes down, loses some regions, where's a good region to get into a long? Let's say we do get that pullback. I quite like this, to be honest with you. You've had really nice open interest increasing from this low, and it looks like you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lows, maybe 6 on that one that haven't been swept here. So if you are getting a pullback, this would be the area that I'm looking to take a long from. If you can come to the fucking low with me, please, cursor. There we go. Something like this, okay? This would be a buy box on a pullback. And the reason for that is you're collecting liquidity from the buyers there. And if you lose this region, you're probably looking, because you've also got support at the top of the weekly pivot. So the weekly pivot's here. It's been resistance. You'd want to see that turn into support. Lose that region, you're probably looking down here. And one could argue down to $4.50. So definitely if you get a pullback, this would be where I'm eyeing up to get in. And that's the short and potential long trade there. So, Rune is a good looking, it's not a bad looking chart. Definitely one where, the trades are there. And I'd definitely be eyeing up taking either a short or a long from this one, because I'm intrigued to see actually how much of a percentage move is that to the fucking high if we can get in a long here. 15 fucking percent, no leverage, you fucking joking? That's insane. Okay, yeah. Alert, please, and alert on this one. That's mad moves. That's insane. So yeah, this is not going to be correlated to Bitcoin like at all, I reckon. What should we change? ADA and go to Rune. Let's have a look at what this is looking like. Oh, it's really fucking correlated on the 4-hour max. You're full of shit. It's not the end of the world. I'm fucking killing it. It's the lowest one there. Go on, Adam. But on the 50-minute, I bet it's definitely not. Come on. Yeah, fucking hell, look at that, yeah. Yeah, Rune's looking like a very good one to trade locally, to be totally honest with you guys. So, yeah, I like that Rune coin. And now for the shittest of the requested shit coins. And yes, I also mean above fucking... above SHIB, which is a complete bullshit coin. Look at this bullshit. This is fucking wank. It's so wank. And the more you zoom out, the more wank it gets. It's the fucking worst coin I think I've ever looked at a chart at. You can go away for now. It's just fucking abysmal. It's so bad. It's so bad. It's so shit. I fucking hate this coin. It's so shit. And they've got such a cool name. Internet fucking computer protocol, is it? Cool name. Why can't it just be fucking useful? Why are you just shit? It's such a shit coin. Anyway, that's enough. It's enough profanity for now. But yeah, it's so shit. For me, the way I'm looking at this, you are at range value very low. Can I see it holding? Probably not. I mean, okay, enough of the jokes about how shit this coin is. Let me actually try and find some tradable levels for us, okay? Monthly, fuck, caught it there. Good monthly level. Actually would argue that is now tapped. I don't know why I put the untapped one. But yeah, that one's now tapped. So, okay, it's tradable. If there's monthly level there and it's rejecting like that, it's certainly tradable. I'm not sure if it's open source, but it's called the correlation matrix by Leviathan. Let's have a look. Let's check if it's open source. It is. There you go. It's open source for you. Come and copy and tinker away. But it's one of the best tools if you're trading altcoins. It really is useful. Definitely recommend it. I absolutely swear by it. If I'm looking at any altcoin, I'll be checking this because it's just good to know. It is just good to know because there's no point trading charts if they're just too correlated to Bitcoin. In fact, on the note of Bitcoin, let me just pop over to it. Let me have a look. Come to 5 minute plus Zoom in so I can see some shit. Still not hitting that. Still not hitting the weekly pivot. What's the open interest doing here? Zoom in a tad more. Okay, we're getting increases in this candle. We're getting increases in this candle. If you can get back above, 62, 150, you're probably coming to take some highs. And to be honest with you, I wouldn't be opposed to that. I would quite like to come and sweep. I would argue this high, or maybe this high, like completely. Get a nice open interest drop as you get above there, and to take a short trade. To be totally honest with you, because do I think this is a good low on Bitcoin? Let's have a look. Where is the low? This is the low. Volume's mid, finished auctions okay. I mean, it's not good. I must admit, it's not good. It's happened in the New York session, which is always a plus. One of the things that I'll give you is like a tip trick. If you guys are tracking your intraday sessions, and I mean Asia, London, New York never likes when London has the low for the day. So when did London close? About 4 o'clock. So the London was the low, okay. New York session fucking despises London having the low. So yeah, it's come and taken it now. Definitely thinking shorts from here still, because I'm still expecting lower personally. I want this single print tested, or I want the weekly pivot tested at least. And yeah, I'm wrong if you get above the day pivot and back above the range value area low. But for me, this still looks like it's got more downside to go personally. London high keeps us under my low time frame EMA. We need to hold as resistance to keep the move underway. Yeah. Nah. I will look at SHIB. I'll do ICP. I'll finish ICP now, and then we'll do SHIB. Then I'm done. But yeah, I'll do SHIB after. Don't worry. So yeah, let me find some tradable regions on ICP just quickly. Then we'll do SHIB. Promise, mastermind. I promise. So locally, open interest wise, you're below the local open interest, which is, I'm looking at these candles here. So you're below it. You have taken the low. Have we got a volume spike? Let me hide the fixed range. Just the one that's in my way. This one's in my way. Yeah, no real volume spike here. So for me, I'd be looking at, coming down to, this low here. I'll be looking at coming down to here on ICP at a minimum, to be honest with you. But on the high time frame, you have got to look at that golden pocket below you, because we haven't actually tested it. It looks like you have here, but there's range bound price action here. You've had a really large open interest increase into this level. Look at this, a really large open interest increase here. This is going to be support. It's clearly been defended. And yeah, I would trade this gold pocket. Maybe trade it as an SFP from here. And if you're really shook on this asset, which is completely valid, you would probably wait for a confirmation of you getting back above these lows. I know it's not ideal because you're giving up some price action. But let's say you get a bounce. Oh, fuck that. Fuck a 5% confirmation, Max. You're full of shit. Yeah, don't do that. Sorry to swear, but I'm not going to allow a 5% confirmation on a trade. I'm just not going to do that. Yeah, so maybe SFP of this low here in the gold pocket would be nice. Or you could wait for a market structure change in this asset, or you maybe have a building open interest here and you start to trap shorts for high prices, because the shorts from here, the short is above here, if you ask me. Above these highs here, come and properly take them, tap that monthly pivot, nice open interest drop, or trapping longs. Yeah, I would favor that. And I bet we've already pretty much come through this gold pocket. So not through the gold pocket, sorry, through the rest of the fib levels. 0.5, 0.382 has already been tested. Lower high, lower low, lower high. Yeah, fuck it. Send it to the gold pocket, to be honest with you. Outside of this SFP of this level, I'd be looking for the gold pocket to come. And you can't take shorts from down here. You just can't. It's not something to do. So the trade setups on ICP I'd be looking for is an SFP on this one, though I'm not completely confident in it. or down in the lower end of the gold pocket. But you'd really have to wait for the data that comes in around there from an open interest and volume standpoint. But yeah, the SFP that you're getting here, I mean, I am on the fucking 12-hour. For me, to think about coming up higher, you would have to be trapping all of this open interest. You'd have to come right up. You'd have to get above the day pivot again. But you could look for SFPs of these highs. But yeah, you'd have to get above the day pivot. It's not terrible. It's not a terrible SFP because you're trapping the open interest. If I mark it out and then go back to the 5 minutes, sorry for jumping around. It's not the worst. It's not the worst. Because you're trapping the open interest below here, okay? You want to get above this level and the day pivot for price to really continue. Yeah, it's not terrible actually. This certainly could move up. How correlated is it to Bitcoin? Bitcoin's getting a right nice move up to the VWAP. How correlated is it to Bitcoin? Let's have a look. What don't we care about? Oh, I didn't matter today. ICP. It's actually pretty correlated on the 5 minute. It's not too bad. 12-hour final one. It's not too bad. It's not the most correlated with Bitcoin, which is a good thing. You don't want to be trading the assets that are correlated. So yeah, this SFP here is actually not bad because you're trapping the traders below you. Granted, you didn't have a massive volume spike, but it looks like you don't really get them all too often on here. But yeah, this is actually quite a good SFP to take. Granted, I'm not going to take it now. But yeah, if you can hold this level at 12.18, yeah, why not come and sweep these highs and test the day pivot? Really, honestly, why not? I can shit on this coin all I want, but when it does something like that and you're trapping the traders in the SFP, fuck it, send it ICP, do it, mate. And the final one, we'll do SHIB. SHIB, I want Binance again, please. Does Binance not have fucking perpetual futures? What? Mobile Bybit. Oh yeah, it's 1,000, isn't it? Go on, we'll do Bybit just for the sake of it. Bybit of old. Okay, SHIB. Do I not have open interest data on this? Nah. How many SHIB is it? No, there's got to be open interest data on this. Bear with me, everyone. I want to find out what chart I've used for SHIB before. Oh. Don't want the two asses. $1,000 SHIB, you say? Ah, you are a gem, aren't you? All right, there we go. That's all we wanted. Back off. Mashallah. Mashallah. Okay, we've got good data. This is all right. We can work with this. Okie dokie. This level's clearly support and resistance. Let's look at monthly levels. Let's see how they interact. Oh, we've already got fucking many about. No, it's not that one, it's this one. It's clone it. Clone that bitch. And we want one more, please. Yeah, so they're the only ones I need on my chart. Weeklies, how are these doing? Oh, the weeklies look quite good, actually. Look at that one. This weekly would have been perfect for a short. Look at that. Go on, SHIB. To the fucking dollar as well. Well, obviously, it's fucking in the cents. It's obviously going to be in the dollar. But yeah, look at that weekly level. Perfect. Beautiful. And this one. Wow. I'm impressed. SHIB respecting the weekly fucking levels. Look at that one. If you did just use the previous week close, I guess. Perfect. What a trade that would have given you. You'd have got a short here and you'd have gotten short here. But anyway, it doesn't help us now. Fucking hindsight trading don't mean shit. So, let's actually give us a bias and a setup. Okay, you've already tested the gold pocket. I really want to come down to that again. Come to the 2 hour, please. Open interest good from here. Open interest good from here as well. Have you taken that low? Yeah, just. No really volume spike there, but it looks like maybe you're trapping some traders on a local time frame. What have you done here? Yeah. So here on SHIB, you fucking swept all these lows. Got a nice back test. So for those that have been around for long enough, you remember the SFP back test trade, effectively back tested it here, and you'd have gone long probably in this candle, or maybe this one, and your stop loss would be below this low. So this is quite a nice little SFP actually on the 2 hour time frame. Certainly a tradable level. The question is, what is it going to do now? Because again, fucking hindsight trading don't mean shit. Hindsight trading don't pay the bills. Ooh, we're in the gold pocket. We are in the gold pocket, which is interesting, okay, because obviously this is not a region where you want to be taking shorts from. It has SFP'd the level. So similar thing to what we were going to be looking for on ICP, yeah, where it's in the gold pocket and you could trade as an SFP. You could have done the exact same thing here and been in a long now. Where's this open interest been coming in now? Let's go to the 15 min. See if we can really pinpoint it. And what I'm doing here is I'm trying to pinpoint where the local open interest increases has been coming in from. So it's gone from this bit of price action all the way to here. Do you know what? I feel like I've said the same thing on multiple assets today. If you can get above here and get above the day pivot, it looks pretty good. To be totally honest with you, you are trapping traders now. You're going to want to see this price action, this miniature range held. You're not going to want to see it start, being lost, because if you start to see this area being lost, given the open interest increases that you have, you're going to be expecting the lows to be taken again. To be totally honest with you, because that's how this thing works. It's going to seek out the liquidity. So right now you're kind of in the middle of it. So if you're long already, great. If you're not, I would be somewhat cautious. I would either wait for, a higher low. Maybe, I guess you could argue you're back testing it here, but I wouldn't be super convinced given its SHIB. But yeah, if you get above the day pivot, this looks quite good. You're trapping, it's not going to be crazy amounts of open interest. 6%, I'd fucking trade that on Bitcoin every day of the week. So if you get above the day pivot and you get the nice back test, yeah, by all means look for trades on this one. And your target has to be the pivots, the weekly pivot, the monthly pivot. Why? Because you've also had open interest increases around this region. So it's going to be resistance, this area. So yeah, how much is that trade? almost 2%. It's not the fucking end of the world. You're going to hope for good market structure so you can have a somewhat tight stop loss, but that's not the end of the world on SHIB. So yeah, I would say, if I came to this chart earlier, I would be saying this area is the buy box that you want to be in. You've swept the low here. Your stop loss would probably be here at this point if you've preset is below this low back here. And your target would be, your initial target would be the day pivot. But if you can get above there, the week pivot, and to be honest with you, if you can get above that region, you're probably coming up to test levels like this where it's been very clear resistance, support. That's how you've got to look at these things. Really basic support and resistance is the way to go. Now, how does this look? Yeah, so what you want to do on SHIB is you want to be taking this high, because this is a lower high, but this is a higher low. So to confirm which way the trend's going, you're either going to take this low, and arguably at that point you're looking down, okay, and continuing the current downtrend that you've got. But if you can get above this current high and take the the high up at, I don't even know what this is. What is that? 2 cents. Yeah, that's when it looks pretty good. So tradable regions on SHIB, well, you're in it now. To be totally honest with you, you're in it now. You're in a buy area for now. If you are trading SHIB, it pays to know that. Now, would I put my stop loss at the low? No. I'd be a little bit more cautious than that, because with building open interest, it's very likely that you can still come down and sweep it and then continue on up. Yeah. This is the buyable area. It really is. So SHIB's in the buy box. Other trading setups, maybe a short from the day pivot, I would argue. It's definitely the first area that you'd want to be TPing if you're buying in this region. Maybe this, because you're testing, resistance, support, turning it into resistance again. And if you do turn it into resistance, that's where you're going to be looking down to like 786 and arguably this low back here. But yeah, the SHIB's in the buy area now, so I can't really be like, oh yeah, fucking this is the buy zone. No, it's kind of already in it. It's whether you want to put that risk on. When I would say this isn't the best situation, because you're not putting like a proper good low. It's kind of just been mulling around here, which isn't ideal. For me in my lows, I always like to see a big wick, a really big volume spike to be able to identify a good low. And looking at this, you can't tell me that you've had that. You haven't had a big wick. You haven't had a volume spike. The open interest is just an additional thing. So all you've got here is, while you live above this box, trapped open interest in this box. And if you start to break your way back into it, then it doesn't look too good. Okay. And that's when you're looking down to probably the 786. One could argue here, but I don't really see why that would stop you too much. This area here for a sweep. But I'm not too sure on that one. You're probably looking down to the 786. So SHIB's really got to hold this box if it wants and get above the day pivot and not reject if it wants to, continue up, because you don't want to lose this low. You really don't. Anyway, halas, an hour and 10 minutes almost. I'm done. Hopefully, guys understood SHIB. Hopefully, guys understood all the coins I talked about. But yeah, it's in a buy area for sure. This certainly can bounce. But you need to be looking at the market structure to see which highs and lows are getting taken in order to give you an overall bias of SHIB. Because it's a very tradable asset. There's no doubt about that. That monthly is certainly one I'd have my eyes on to trade. But yeah, if you lose this low, I don't know why this low would hold. If you lose the low from about 2 cents, I don't know why this low would hold at 1.9, 1.8-ish. I don't know why that would hold. And if that doesn't hold, you're looking down to 1.7 cents. Would be my next target. And you don't want to lose that, because then you're back in the range and you're looking to come down to the monthly. So that's my thoughts on SHIB. It looks okay. It's not the worst, but you really want to be seeing that market structure get changed. You want to see that high get taken. You want to see this low being put in here. And you need to start changing this downtrend of market structure that we've got. 10 people in here. Appreciate you guys all tuning in. Jump into the hub, into the Discord. Yeah, my layout is called HubTube. Obviously, we have a Discord called Crypto Hub. Jump into the fucking hub. It's good shit in there. Appreciate you guys tuning in, staying with me for an hour, 10 minutes. Yeah, in a bit, everyone. Happy trading.